Hi, welcome to another episode of Healthy Habits with Lydia. This episode, we're gonna talk about fasting. I got a lot of questions, especially from my friends and family around me, because I've been talking about water fasting, and I've seemed to notice that a lot of people don't really know what water fasting is, and also don't know why you should do it. But I see that lots of people around me are just very curious about the benefits of water fasting. And I also noticed that it's somehow also difficult to start doing it, right? Because you don't have the right information. Maybe you're a little bit scared about water fasting, what can happen with your body, and so on. So in this episode, I want to make all of that clear to you. I want to explain what water fasting is, what's happening in your body when you do water fasting, and then also how you can start water fasting, how to break your fast, and how many times you should do it. So I'm gonna bring all the good stuff to you. So most of you have heard about fasting because a lot of people do intermittent fasting. This is a big wellness trend of like the last 5 to 10 years. And intermittent fasting is not the same as water fasting, so this episode is going to be about water fasting. Let me explain you the difference. So fasting means that you do not eat or drink, basically. Fasting means no intake whatsoever. What people are doing when they do intermittent fasting is they do drink. So they will drink like water, maybe also even coffee or juices. But they will do this intermittently. So they will do eat, but also do fasting and intermit these together. So for example, a lot of people, they will have dinner around like 6 or 7 and then don't eat anything after that. They still will drink water. And then in the morning, they will skip breakfast and have like a really late breakfast, or just skip breakfasts entirely and go to lunch. And this is intermittent fasting. So they will fast like for 12 hours or maybe like 16 hours or even more. But this is different than water fasting. So what is water fasting? It means that basically you're only gonna drink water. So this means no juice, no coffee, no tea, no herbal drinks, no broth, nothing, and no calorie intake, no food, nothing. So it's purely drinking water, and water is very, very, very important, because in some religions you will also have fasting where you don't drink water, and I do not support this, because you need water to have a healthy fasting. Skipping water is never good, and I will never recommend it. So the reason why I began becoming interested in water fasting is because I had heard some of the detox benefits, and I was interested in detoxing because, I'm such a health and wellness freak. And I just know that daily life, especially like in Belgium, for example, you can have a lot of chemicals coming into your life, or like PFAS, to the water, to the food that you eat, just like traffic. So I thought maybe this is good for like fasting, for detox, the fasting. So the first time I tried fasting was purely for thinking it would be interesting to detox. I did it before I went traveling the world, so it was kind of also like detoxing from Belgium before traveling. And the second time, I only did it like one time in like maybe a year or something, because then I was traveling and I kind of forget about fasting. But then I started doing it more regularly, because I had this infection that somehow my body couldn't get rid of, and didn't matter how healthy I ate or whatever, it just stayed in my body. And then I heard that this water fasting can actually help with inflammation and infection, and like have clearance of like bacteria or viruses. But I never did fasting for like losing weight, for example. First of all, I don't need to lose any weight. And I also do not believe in using fasting for weight loss, but I can get into this later. So these were like my reasons, but there's many more reasons to go into water fasting. Maybe it's more important that I tell you how long I do water fasting before I get like into the benefits, because water fasting, how long it is, how long do you do the water fasting, and how do you do it? So I do water fasting for 36 hours, which is basically 1 day and a half. So I will have my last dinner in the evening, and for example at like 6 or 7 or 8, I won't have any snacks. And then the next full day, I'm not going to eat anything. And then I'm going to eat the day after. I'm going to start with breakfast. So basically, I will have dinner on the first day. Then the second day, no food intake whatsoever. And then the third day, I'm going to start having with normal food again with breakfast. So this is 36 hours. Why it's only 1 day, but you do have those 2 full nights of not eating. And especially the second night is going to be very powerful, because in your sleep, your body starts going into repair mode. And when you haven't eaten anything, it can focus all of its energy to repairing and resting and recharging. So that's why I do 36 hours. And this is the big difference with intermittent fasting, because with intermittent fasting, you will have a break in your digestive system every day, which is really good. But with intermittent fasting, you're not going to have enough time for your body to actually go into this repair mode and recharge mode. You'll only have the rest mode. So that's why I love water fasting for 36 hours or even longer. And I do this 1 time a month. You could do this 2 times a month. You could do this 1 time in 2 months. I guess it also depends on your life and how easy it is for you to do this. I am traveling a lot, so for me, I don't find it always so easy to do it regularly, but I do feel that I want to put it regularly in my life because it's just so helpful for my health. So let me get into the benefits of fasting, water fasting specifically. And I don't know, like, before recording this episode, I did my research. I really love researching the topics I talk about, because I don't want to only talk about my own experience. I also want to talk, the research that has happened around fasting. And it's just really crazy. Like there hasn't been done enough research yet around fasting, but there are some really, really nice benefits coming out of this research. Like for my own experience, I feel that when I fast, I really feel like my body is being so grateful to me, because I can have this deep physical rest. My organs are so happy because for once they don't have to digest, because your body is constantly digesting food, because your food takes a long time. When you eat your food, it takes a really long time to be fully digested. So it's your meal is not even going to be fully digested before you take your other meal again. So it's constantly taking in this food without breaks, and your digestive system basically has to be on working the whole time. And especially if we eat late in the evening, it's going to be even active in the night. And so the digestive system, this is, I think, the major benefit of doing the 36 hours fasting, is that it can finally rest and it can repair the things that are broken. Because there is some damage maybe in the digestive system for constantly being on, constantly being working. So it's repairing the digestive system and it's recharging it with new energy and new cells. And apart from that, one of the other big things is that water fasting reduces inflammation. So this was one of my reasons why I wanted to do the water fasting more regularly, because I had this inflammation that I couldn't get rid of, this infection. And actually, I got rid of it, And I think that fasting is one of the things that really helped, next to eating very healthy, of course. And so if you stop eating food, your metabolism is gonna switch from glucose and sugars to fat, which is the metabolic switch. This is also why the keto diet is popular with some people. And so this is gonna also change to fat burning. So I don't support fasting as a healthy way to lose weight. I cannot recommend it. I think it's better to eat healthy, to move your body, to live healthy instead of fasting. So I don't know, don't do this. But this metabolic switch from changing from glucose to fat is actually very healthy. One of the other things that, by the way, the reducing inflammation is also really good for people who have arthritis, because arthritis is from inflammation. Your joints are inflamed and they cause pain, and actually the long-term fasting reduces this inflammation. Which one of the things that I didn't know that I found in research is that the fasting lowers your blood pressure. And this is not a problem for me because I don't have high blood pressure, but I know that a lot of people have high blood pressure, so this is helping. But then one of the other big things that I think is really important is it's gonna activate your immunity system. So your immunity system is always on because we give our body a lot of stress. So it's always in this active mode of like fighting. But then when you fast, also the immunity system can rest and repair itself. So it's going to renew its immunity cells, gonna activate its stem cells. And this process of autophagy, I don't know how to say this in English, autophagy. So basically it's like cleaning up your body in the cells. This process is also being highly activated during fasting because it finally has the energy and the time to do this instead of focusing on all the other things it needed to do when you were eating. So, a lot of benefits. I think there must be a lot more, to be honest, but these are like the most popular ones. I think for me, just the fact that my digestive system can rest and my immunity system is activated, so it's actually healing my body in a preventive way to prevent like diseases and infections. This is for me like worth doing this 36-hour water fast. So how do you start doing this water fast? I began doing it quite extremely. I went straight to 36 hours. And to be honest, the first time I had it really hard. I had a headache, I felt really bad, and I don't recommend this. If you're not used to doing intermittent fasting or normal fasting, I think it's better to start just with doing like, for example, half a day, that you don't eat breakfast, maybe don't eat lunch, but you do have dinner, for example. And then after that, you can make it longer until like you go like, for example, 36 hours. But just listen to your own body, what you feel that is good for you. Extremes are never good, although I try them out sometimes. It's never what works for the body. Balance is best, and slow and steady is how you win. So try first to just skip 1 meal or 2 meals. But it's also important that during this fasting, you also are changing your lifestyle. Because if you're just gonna fast and go on with everything you were doing before, the fasting is not gonna work. Because your body does need rest. Because if you don't rest, it's gonna be really hard for your body to be working. It needs to be on and active, but you're not giving it any nutrition. So this is really not good for the body. This is practically like starving yourself. So when you're fasting, you must rest. So not going to the gym, not going to go to a party. The only thing you maybe can do is a little walk in the forests. Maybe you can do little stretching, but no yoga session, nothing. I mean, like the asana physical yoga. Because if you're not gonna rest, it doesn't make any sense to fast, because you're not gonna give your body the time to repair and to have all of these benefits, because your energy is still going to just going through your day. So this is really, really, really important. The first time I did fasting, I did like a really big walk in nature, because I thought, oh, this is relaxing. This is also part of a detox. And I also didn't go on my phone, and I did a yoga session. And to be honest, I felt so bad, because I was asking a lot of my body and of my mind while doing the fasting, which is already asking a lot of you. So please don't over ask yourself. Be very, very gentle with yourself when you fast. This is really important. And I think that it's better to I eat and drink very healthy anyway. I don't drink alcohol, I don't drink caffeine and all that stuff. I eat very healthy, I eat plant-based, so I don't have to prepare myself for fasting. But if you do eat or drink any of these, you need to prepare yourself at least 24 hours before the fasting. So this means no caffeine, no alcohol, and no drugs. What else? If possible, also no meat, but this is not that important. One of the other things that I think is really important to give to you, so don't try fasting if you don't listen to this next part, is how to break your fast. So maybe you have heard of the refeeding syndrome. Maybe you've seen like a movie where, people were starved. I don't know. I've seen movies like that. And where they then, want to eat like a lot of food because they're so starving, and then they get really sick. So this is the refeeding syndrome. This basically means if you break your fast with eating a lot in a fast tempo, it's going to be very unhealthy for your body, because when you are fasting, your body is changing its whole metabolism and its whole way of working. So it's not focused on food, it's just focusing on rest. But if you then would give yourself a huge meal, for example, with something that is like fried or like pastry or a lot of sugary food and caffeine, this is gonna be like a shock for your body. Like your body will have to go very fast from nothing to everything, and this can actually cause serious problems for your heart, your lungs, your brain, your muscle, because your whole metabolism has to change very abruptly. Also, with all of the hormones, electrolytes, everything, suddenly all these levels have to change to be, suddenly all this food is coming in, and your body is going in some sort of shock. So this can cause like headache, dizziness, like just actually feeling very sick. And this happened to me the first time when I was fasting, because this is like 3 years ago, when I wasn't informed yet about fasting, because I just wanted to try it because I thought it was good for detox. And I became so sick because my mother and me, we were doing the fasting together, and we actually we went to the bakery and bought like a lot of food. I had like eggs, like I had so much food, oh my God. And yeah, of course I felt really sick. So don't do this. I can not recommend. I know it's hard after breaking your fast and you want to have food. You feel like you want to eat everything because you're very hungry. Finally, you're allowing yourself to have food. But from that moment, it's really important to be very careful for yourself, care for yourself, and just be very disciplined and eat like a very small, light meal. Like a soup maybe, like some like steamed vegetables and potatoes, but give your body some time. And the whole day or the whole 24 hours after your fasting, you need to eat light and slowly and small portions. No caffeine, no meat, no fried stuff, no desserts, nothing of those. And then after that, you can go back eating normal again. I mean, I recommend eating very healthy and not going back to alcohol and caffeine, but this is not what this episode is about. But honestly, like, what research shows us is that fasting actually helps the best when you combine it with a healthy lifestyle. Because when you eat unhealthy almost the whole time and then suddenly you fast, like, wow, it's just so much work for your body to repair and to go through, and it's so tired. So fasting will help, but it will not help in the bigger picture, because if you just eat unhealthy again after the fasting, it's just gonna be like a short break. So yeah, the best thing to do with fasting is to just eat and live healthy next to it. So you can listen to all of my other episodes, how to be healthy and have a healthy lifestyle. Let me think if there's something else I need to tell you. So I do this once a month. This is something that works for me. I love to do it on a Sunday, so I don't have to work. And actually, I love doing something relaxing, like reading a book, watching a series. I sometimes study for my university degree, and I can recommend this because it's actually really hard to and fast and do a digital detox. It would be better, of course, to meditate the whole day, to not be on your phone and just be one with yourself and focus on yourself. But this is also asking a lot from yourself, because a whole day of not being on your phone is already like another challenge on itself. So I think it's too difficult to combine these two. Unless you're a very disciplined, very healthy person who's used to digital detox, then fine, do it together. That's even better. But I think it's always better to take simple steps that are achievable than asking too much from yourself. Just be careful when you do the fasting. If you are having some sort of disease, maybe ask your doctor if it's okay. Maybe check your blood levels. I think it's not good to do fasting when you are under a lot of stress, because fasting is gonna give your body more stress. So if you have like light anxiety or stress, like I often have, it's fine. But if you feel like you're like in a really difficult period in your life, then maybe fasting is not the right timing for you, because fasting is gonna give your body some stress because you're not giving yourself food. So if you already have a lot of stress, that's just going to add, and then in the end it's not going to be healthy for you, because your body is going in some sort of stress response. I also didn't like doing fasting in winter. I tried doing fasting in winter, and I think it's good if you don't have to go out. But if you do have to go out and you're like in cold winter, like I was in Belgium in last winter, like I've been doing it in like spring and summer and autumn, and then suddenly I wanted to do it in winter, but I had to go out, I had to do some stuff, and I felt like I was so cold. Because, winter is already cold, but then the food is making your body warm, right? And I then was going outside without any food intake, and I think I was just undercooled. Like I was so cold that I couldn't do my fasting anymore. I decided to eat anyway. So the summary of this is just listen to your body. It's never good to do extreme things. This is not what is helpful. The best health is always doing it slow, steady, and with self-love. So just a little reminder. And then one last question I get that I got a lot about fasting is people ask, why I wouldn't drink like broth or like electrolytes or like juice or something, because a lot of fastings are with this. So the reason why I don't recommend to drink anything except water is because water is the only calorie-free drink that is not gonna ask anything from the digestive system. It's only gonna help with the cleanse. But broth and juice will have nutrients in it. This means that your digestive system will have to keep working. So this is not the fasting we want, because it's actually not gonna help, because your digestive system is not resting. And then about the electrolytes, a lot of the electrolyte capsules that you can find in the pharmacy are full of sugar, They're not healthy. So I can't recommend them because they're also gonna they're gonna like not be good for your fasting because it's full of glucose and nutrients. That said, it is actually important to make sure you have enough electrolytes for the fasting because electrolytes are really, really important for the body. So I think it's important that the days before you make sure you have enough electrolytes in your body. I'm a fan of natural electrolytes, for example, coconut water, watermelon water, lemon juice with some salt in it. This is better than the electrolyte tablets that you're gonna find in a shop that is full with glucose. And then also after you break your fast, you can also have some electrolytes, but I just don't recommend taking them during your fasting. There is one exception though, if you feel bad. If you feel that you are faint, you have like a headache, you feel like maybe you're gonna faint or whatever, you feel just really bad, that could be that you just don't have enough electrolytes. And then I think it's good to have some lemon water with salt. Maybe have a little bit of like a little piece of fruit to have a little bit of glucose. So if you're feeling really bad, I don't think it's really good, the fasting. A light headache is okay because it is symptoms of the detox. But if you're feeling really bad, I don't think it's good to go on with the fasting because this is opposite of what we want. We want to feel better because of the fasting. Because I feel when I fast, I feel I'm very clear-headed. I can focus really good on my work, for example. I'm very present. I have a lot of energy. So for me, it's really good. And I feel the day after that I really my body is recharged. And I haven't said this during this whole episode. I don't understand why. But one of the most important things is drink a lot of water. There's a reason why I call it water fasting. Yeah, because you can only drink water, but also because water is the key element of the fasting. Because our body needs water to repair, to rebuild our immunity system, to fight inflammation. For all of these processes, it needs a lot of water. So if you're not drinking this water, if you're going through a detox, then how can these things that are detox go out of your body? So drink lots of water, double, triple the amount of you normally do. Okay, that's what I got for you today. If you have any questions about the fasting, just send me a DM on Instagram at lydia.martens. I would love to help you. And if you want to become more healthy, more energized version of yourself, I'm here. I'm a really professional certified health coach, and I would love to help you out. I have a free discovery call that you can talk with me and see if we are good to work together. So just go to my website and you will see free discovery call and you can book it straight away. You can also find the link in the show notes. Okay, have an amazing day.